Hey everyone, hello. So for today's video, we're stepping into one of the oldest moral lessons in Freemasonry, a symbol so simple that it could be drawn by a child, yet is so profound that its meaning has guided Masons for centuries. Today's video, Circumscribing the Circle, the art of keeping one's passions within due bounds. At the heart of Masonic symbolism lies a simple diagram, a point encircled by a perfect circle. It might not look like much at first glance, yet this image is one of the earliest forms of sacred geometry, a symbol that predates Freemasonry and even the ancient mystery schools. So, let's break it down. The point at the center represents the individual Mason, or more broadly, the individual human soul. It symbolizes consciousness, identity, and the inner spark of divine origin. And then surrounding it, the circle forms a clear and intentional boundary. This boundary represents the limits of proper conduct. In Freemasonry, it serves as a reminder: do not allow your passions, your prejudice, or your vices to carry you beyond the boundary of what is honorable, just, and moral. It is a symbol not of restriction, but of self-mastery. Because the moment your passions spill into, or outside rather, that circle, you are no longer guided by reason, you're guided by impulse. For Freemasonry, at its moral core, teaches that a life guided by impulse is a life untethered. Now, if you look at common depictions of this symbol, you'll see two vertical lines flanking the circle, almost like guardians standing watch. Traditionally, these lines represent St. John the Baptist and St. John the Evangelist, the two patron saints of Freemasonry. But they aren't just characters from biblical history. Symbolically, they represent balance. The Baptist is the fiery reformer, discipline, repentance, moral rigor, and the evangelist is the mystic philosopher, contemplation, illumination, and spiritual insight. Together, they remind the Mason to pursue a path that harmonizes action with reflection, discipline with understanding. In some traditions, the two lines represent Moses and King Solomon, law and wisdom, another pairing of moral equilibrium. These lines act as symbolic rails that keep the individual point aligned, upright, and steady within the circle of challenges. And hovering above the entire symbol is the volume of sacred law, the holy text of the lodge, whether that be the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, the Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, or any other text that represents divine truth for the members present. Its placement is deliberate. It's the bridge between the earthly and the divine. Without spiritual guidance, whatever form that guidance takes, a person's circle or conduct becomes self-defined and therefore easily distorted by ego or convenience. The VSL ensures that the Mason's moral boundaries are aligned with something eternal, not merely personal performance. It's a reminder that a man cannot circumscribe his passions unless he first aligns them with the sacred. Freemasonry didn't invent this symbol, it's inherited. Ancient Egyptian priests used similar diagrams to teach the discipline of the spirit. And Greek philosophers like Pythagoras or Neoplatonists described the point and the circle as representing the one and the cosmos, the soul and the divine boundary of natural law. In sacred geometry, the point is the seed of creation. The circle is the womb of order. For Masons, the idea is translated into moral instructions. You are the point. Your moral code is the circle. Your task is to remain centered. This is why Freemasonry is often described not as a religion, but as a system of moral science, veiled in allegory and illustrated by symbols. So, what does this mean to circumscribe your passions within due bounds in the real world? Well, it means to master your emotions instead of being mastered by them. You think before acting, especially when angry, impulsive, or tempted. And you do not allow prejudice to guide your judgment. You restrain the ego when it wants to dominate and attention or revenge. You remain faithful to principles even when no one is watching. It is a practice of self-regulation, which is the foundation of freedom. You cannot be a free individual spiritually or morally if you are a slave to your passions. In this sense, the circle is not a prison, it's a sanctuary, a sacred space where the soul remains aligned with its highest purpose. There's one more layer many Masons overlook. The point at the center isn't just the individual, it represents the true self, the inner spark of the divine, the fragment of God within. Circumscribing the circle means continually returning to center. It is the practice of recognizing when you've drifted, when your emotions have pulled you off track, when your ego is making choices for you, and then gently, humbly bringing yourself back to the center point, back to balance, back to truth, back to virtue. This is the lifelong work of the Mason and the lifelong work of any sincere seeker of wisdom. The symbol of the circumscribed circle is elegant in its simplicity, but powerful in its message. It tells us, live within boundaries, control your passions, seek wisdom, ground yourself in the sacred, and walk a path where reason, virtue, and spirituality remain in harmony. It's more than geometry. It's a guide for living. So yeah, that's it for today's video. Thank you for joining me on this exploration of one of Freemasonry's most enduring symbols. I am messing up words today all over the place, but that's okay. You get the point. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment or two, and maybe share it with a friend. Until next time, stay centered, stay balanced, stay within the circle. All right, everyone, take care. Peace.